Everything's been dragging you down, grabbed you by the hair and pulled you to the ground. If you want to get up, you need a little revive. If you want to get up, you need a little revive.
One of the most iconic and defining features in Call of Duty Zombies has to be none other than perks, and the one perk that has had one of the most complicated and diversive histories is without a doubt Quick Revive. From starting out as an afterthought co-op only perk to being a pretty vital and crutch perk in the modern age of zombies. So today, we'll be looking at the entire history of Quick Revive in Call of Duty Zombies. So strap in and enjoy the show. The year is 2008, and you just beat the World at War campaign. Satisfied with the amazing story you just experienced, you decide to just sit back and take in the credits. But then once the credits stop, you are presented with a cutscene. Your character dazed while thick fog envelops your surroundings, and all you can make out is figures walking towards you. But then one figure is full-on sprinting at you, and this is your introduction to COD Zombies. You load into Nocturne Toten, realizing that you are now fighting wave after wave of the undead, with only your trusty Colt 1911. Oh wait, there are actually guns on the wall that you can use, but these start to fall off pretty soon. So then you also discover the mystery box that will spit out a random weapon, and hey, you might even get lucky with a ray gun. But after that, there's nothing else really to do. There's nothing else to help you repel the hordes of zombies. Of course you have the cabinet, but why would you waste your money on that? So there's really not a whole lot to do. There's no sense of progression besides hitting the box. That is until March 19th, 2009, the release of the first ever DLC map for zombies, Verrucht. Verrucht introduced a lot of new features to zombies: the power switch, a moving box, and of course, perks. We got 4 perks that will become known as the OG4: Juggernog, Double Tap, Speed Cola, and of course, Quick Revive. These perks added a sense of objective to the zombies mode. Instead of just trying to get a good gun, you are now also trying to get these perks, so then you could progress even further into the rounds. But for today, we're only going to be talking about your boy Quick Revive. For 1500 points, you can now revive your teammates twice as fast to get back into the fight. Without Quick Revive, it takes a full 5 seconds to get your teammate off the ground. Thus, Quick Revive will make that time only 2.5 seconds. Sounds like a pretty good perk for co-op, but what exactly does Quick Revive do for you in solo, you may ask? Well, shit. Yeah, Quick Revive does absolutely nothing for solo players in World at War. So what exactly is the point of buying it in solo? Well, there is none. Of course, you can just buy it just so you have all 4 perk slots full, but you're just wasting 1500 points at that point. This was clearly an oversight by Treyarch, and I mean, to be fair, how would Quick Revive in solo even work? It's not like you could just pick yourself up off the ground if you downed in a solo game, right? With the release of Black Ops 1, zombie players noticed immediately booting up Keener der Toten that the Quick Revive machine was in the spawn room. And if they were on solo, they would probably also notice that it was only 500 points. I mean, there wasn't any other perks on the map to buy since Mule Kick was added later with DLC 4. Players that bought it, and if they suck, they ended up going down and realizing, wait, the game isn't over? And I have dual-wield explosive pistols? Treyarch, with one simple tweak to Quick Revive, completely changed how you played zombies solo. No longer was the days where the perk you were gonna buy was Jug 1 trillion% of the time. Now, if you were solo, 9 times out of 10, you're probably gonna buy Quick Revive because why wouldn't you? You spawn in with 500 points. The perk is 500 points. Just grab it to be safe. You get to make it so your game doesn't end after you go down. Now, at first glance, you could probably see how this could be maybe overpowered or unbalanced. You go down, you go back and buy Quick Revive. You go down, you go back and buy it again. And if you go down again, you just go back and buy... Wait. Where the hell did the perk machine go? Yeah, Treyarch had hindsight this time and saw how giving solo players the chance to constantly keep getting revived could be game-breaking and also pretty boring because, well, then there's no stakes. Your game just wouldn't end. So Treyarch put in a failsafe to where if you buy Quick Revive 3 times in a solo game, the perk machine straight up just says, peace out, bitches, and that's that. You can't buy the perk anymore. This made Quick Revive actually a useful perk in solo, while at the same time making it balanced so you didn't just infinitely revive yourself. Another thing Treyarch did with Quick Revive in Black Ops 1 is the fact that it's always going to be in the spawn room now. Since it's useful on solo and the cheapest, it might as well just be in the spawn room. This makes it better for solo players to go ahead and just grab it early game in case a not so good player ends up going down on round 2, i.e. ya boy. Back in World at War, Quick Revive was only in the spawn room for Verrucht, if you spawn on the Quick Revive side, of course. In Shinonuma, perks were randomized, so you had no idea what you were going to get. You could get Quick Revive on your first door or your last one. And on Derice, Quick Revive was literally as far as humanly possible, but this didn't matter as much because Quick Revive in World at War did nothing in solo. It was only useful in co-op. But now on Black Ops 1, Treyarch made sure to have the Quick Revive machine in spawn room on all of the maps. On Kino der Toten, 5, Ascension, Call of the Dead, Shangri-La, and Moon. Technically. However, DLC 4 not only brought Moon to the game, but it also remastered all 4 of the World at War maps with a fresh coat of Black Ops 1 paint, pretty much keeping everything the same, except it now has Black Ops 1 guns, and also Mule Kick is on the maps. Quick Revive works exactly how it does in Black Ops 1, so now it's useful on solo in the World at War maps. However, remember how the machine on World at War maps were not in the spawn room except on Verrucht? Well, Treyarch stayed true to that, and did not move the machines except for Shinonuma, of course. This means that on Nocturne and Toten, there is no Quick Revive machine, and on Derice, Quick Revive is still in the back of the map, which makes solo actually a little bit of a challenge in a way. But there is also something else Black Ops 1 did with perks that completely changed the game for even Quick Revive: free perk power-ups. Introduced in Ascension, perk drops would give all of the players in the game a free random perk. Why is this important for Quick Revive? Well, if you were playing solo and used up all 3 of your Quick Revives, you now had a chance of getting it back through this system, as well as completing the Shangri-La and Moon Easter eggs, which would reward you with all of the perks. There are multiple ways to get a free perk power-up in Black Ops 1. Killing all the space monkeys on Ascension without them stealing a perk, killing George Romero, and timing a very perfect power-up cycle with the monkeys on Shangri-La. One more thing I want to touch on is the fact that Black Ops 1 started introducing different ways to revive your teammates other than just manually walking over and picking their ass up off the ground. If you actually pack a punch the ballistic knife, you would be able to revive your teammates from a distance. This actually made it for a very useful support type of playstyle in co-op. And it made Quick Revive kind of obsolete in co-op in a way, but not really. And this is just the beginning of the devs introducing new ways to revive your teammates other than just picking them up manually. But don't get too comfortable, because knowing Treyarch, they were going to shake things up with their next game. In 2012, Black Ops 2 would release, and oh boy, was there a lot to digest. But today, we're only focusing on our boy Quick Revive, of course. On the launch map Transit, the Quick Revive machine was in the spawn room, as one would expect at this point, and it also works the exact same way it does in Black Ops 1. However, in the survival maps, which were just portions of Transit cut up into their own little survival maps, Quick Revive wasn't always in the spawn room. Sure, Farm had it right there in front of your face as soon as you loaded into the match, but Town had it on the second floor above the bar, which required a door by to access. Obviously, not the end of the world, but after having it in the spawn room for every map in the last game, it could come off as a little jarring. Then there was Bus Depot, where it was basically Black Ops 2's version of World at War Nocturne and Toten. It has 4 wall weapons, 1 door by, and a mystery box. That is it. So it was basically just a challenge map. But that's not everything Black Ops 2 introduced that was tied to Quick Revive. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you perma perks. Oh, baby. I'm just gonna come out and say it. Perma perks are kind of insane. All of them are a little broken, but with Quick Revive specifically, what the actual hell? If you stack the Quick Revive perma perk with normal Quick Revive, you will revive your teammates 4 times as fast. Basically, perma perks are extra buffs that you can only get on the Victus crew maps: Transit, Die Rise, and Buried. You don't get them in the same way you obtain normal perks. You have to do some random ass side quest type to get them. For example, to get the Quick Revive perma perk, you have to end the game with at least 17 revives. Why? Why 17? That's so random and specific. It's so random, and they're pretty much the same for all of them. The reason they're called perma perks, or technically named persistent upgrades, is because they stay with you forever, meaning you can take them with you into the next game and the game after that. Unless you lose it, of course. Don't look too closely at the perma part of the name. And the way you lose perma perks is just as weird as you earn them. If you have the Quick Revive perma perk and you don't fully revive someone when starting the animation, you will therefore lose it. But don't worry, you can easily just get it back after reviving someone 17 times. With Black Ops 2's DLC cycle, we would see a few key differences with Quick Revive's placement, and in one map in particular, we would see it completely changed entirely. But we'll get to that a little later. For now, let's just focus on the other maps. Die Rise, the first DLC map for Black Ops 2, you actually had to turn on the power to access Quick Revive, even on solo, since perk machines were inside of elevators that would move from floor to floor. This is one of the very few instances where you actually have to turn on power to get Quick Revive in COD Zombies. And another thing too, Quick Revive isn't in the spawn room, and that's not just because the elevator isn't on that floor, the elevator just isn't even in the spawn room. And to go and turn on power and then go back to the Quick Revive elevator, it's a hefty journey, which could make Die Rise a little challenging on solo, unless of course you just take 80 grand out of the bank. Buried has Quick Revive, again, technically not in the spawn room, but it might as well be labeled that way. And of course, it also had free 3 perk drops and other side Easter eggs to get more perks, thus making it so you could get more than 3 quick revives on solo, and the same can be said for Die Rise. The bonus survival map Nuketown is interesting because the way perks are approached is that they come into the map periodically and randomly, meaning you could get Jug on round 5 or round 25. Unless you're on solo, then quick revive will always spawn in as soon as the game starts. And Origins is again another map where you have to turn on the power to get quick revive, even on solo. However, Origins also added a brand new feature that not only would change the way players would treat perks, but also how solo players could get extra quick revives. The Wonder Fizz. The Wonder Fizz is basically a mystery box, but for perks. Want to gamble 1500 points and potentially get Speed Cola for 50% off? Or maybe you'll end up getting a perk you don't necessarily want or need. However, if you're playing solo and ran out of quick revives, you could spin the Wonder Fizz to try to get it back. Also, with Origins, you had the Elemental Staffs that, when upgraded, had an extra ability to revive your teammates from a distance, as well as the Maxis Drone buildable that could revive anyone downed and even yourself in solo. This also technically makes quick revive a little bit weaker, but obviously you're still going to pick it up if you're playing solo. Now we got to talk about the elephant in the room, Mob of the Dead. Mob of the Dead is the first real map since Knocked on Black Ops 1 to not have a quick revive machine and to not have quick revive on it, period. So what gives? Well, Mob of the Dead had a brand new mechanic called Afterlife. It basically combined quick revive and the power together, and you spawn into the map with it. In Afterlife, you are essentially a ghost, and in solo, you have 3 of these activations in reserve, and you get 1 back every round. You can go to a shock box to go into Afterlife and to get stuff done, like open up doors, turn on perks, etc. But you won't lose your perks like if you downed by doing this. And now you have an extra perk slot without sacrificing quick revive, because it's not even an option. So even though quick revive isn't on Mob, it doesn't hinder the map at all. Now you can experiment with different perk styles, especially with Electric Cherry being on the map. Oh, and one more quick thing. The Ballistic Knife, Pack Punched, will still revive your teammates just like it does in Black Ops 1. So Black Ops 2 certainly added some stuff to shake up not only perks, but quick revive. So the only question is, what will the next game do?
It unleashed a freak show like no one's ever seen.
So here's the thing. Exo Zombies with Advanced Warfare didn't really change too much perks-wise. Besides the fact that they're no longer sodas, they're now biometric data. I really don't know how to describe it, to be honest. The most notable change is the fact that you need an exosuit to buy any perks, and every perk machine has its own power switch, even quick revive on solo. Oh, I'm sorry, Exo Medic. However, you don't need an exosuit to buy Exo Medic on solo, and it works the exact same way as it does in the previous games. You get revived on solo, after 3 purchases it goes offline, and on co-op you can revive and get revived faster. But if you can't make it to your buddy in time, you can just end the round and boom, they're back up. Exo Zombies also doesn't have a perk limit, so there's not a loss to buy it on co-op. Exo Medic is also in the spawn room on every single map, on Outbreak, Infection, or Burger Town, Carrier, and Descent. And an interesting tidbit about that is that on Carrier, it has a similar function to Verruct, where you can spawn on 2 different sides. But there are actually 2 Exo Medic machines on the map, and this is the only map in any COD Zombies game where the exact same perk machine is on the map twice, excluding Modern Warfare 3 Zombies, but we'll get to that a little bit later. But for now, let's see what Treyarch has been cooking up next.
Streets on flame, it's a mad game, makes you stop and sway.
With the release of Black Ops 3, besides the fresh coat of HD paint to the perk machines themselves, right away there are a lot of things going on that affects perks. Mainly gobblegums. While there are a ton of them, only a few affect reviving and actually obtaining perks, like Raindrops, On the House, Unquenchable, Soda Fountain, and of course, Perkaholic. And then the ones that affect reviving are Aftertaste, Near-Death Experience, Coagulant, Phoenix Up, and Self-Medication. All of these actually make Quick Revive a bit OP in solo, with Near-Death Experience lasting 3 full rounds. In solo, if you have Quick Revive, you can down literally 100 times within those 3 rounds, and your game will just not end. It just goes to show how overpowered some of the Gobblegums can be. And of course, on surface level, Quick Revive works the exact same way in solo and co-op as it has in the previous games, with 3 uses in solo, and the Quick Revive is in the spawn room of every map, including Shadows of Evil, The Rising Drac, Go Rod Crovy, and Revelations. The only exceptions being the Giant and Zetsubo no Shima. The Giant actually had a similar perk system to Shinonuma in a way, where all the perk locations are random, meaning Quick Revive can be in its normal spot where it was back in OG Darius, or it could be where Speed Cola usually is on Darius. And Zetsubo is interesting because it also kind of acts like Shinonuma to a degree. However, if you're on solo, whichever door you end up buying first out of spawn, after a round passes, Quick Revive will then fall out of the sky from a plane. And real quick, can we just talk about the Shadows of Evil perk jingle redesigns? It makes me just cream all over the place every time.
Pick up the pieces and go with the flow now. You need a little revive.
Speaking of Shadows of Evil, it's also one of the few maps you need to power on Quick Revive to even get in solo, technically, with Beast Mode. There are also a plethora of organic ways to get more perk slots and free perk drops in the maps, most notably by completing some of the Easter eggs. However, there is a big thing we haven't talked about yet. Zombies Chronicles. Noct, Verruct, Shinonuma, Kino, Ascension, Shang, Moon, and Origins, all remastered for Black Ops 3. And every map has a Wonder Fizz and a Gobblegum machine, even Nocturne Totem. Therefore, you could pop a Perkaholic on Shang, and you could get Quick Revive on Noct through the Wonder Fizz. Oh, and one other thing I forgot to mention. On Garag Krovi, the NX Shadow Claws, which are basically dual-wield crossbows, they act like the ballistic knives from the previous games, meaning when Pack-a-Punch, they will actually revive your teammates. And these are 100% the most powerful weapon capable of doing this in COD Zombies history, without a doubt. Oh, I also almost forgot to mention the Civil Protector on Shadows of Evil. By finding 3 fuses around the map, you can call this guy in to help you fight the zombies, but he will also revive you if you go down. This means while he's on the map, even without Quick Revive, he will pick your ass up. This makes him very useful in solo, and the Keeper Protector in Revelations functions the exact same way. So Black Ops 3 added a ton of stuff that affected Quick Revive and changed up the game with its Gobblegums and also having the Wonder Fizz on most of the map. It starts to make you wonder if the next iterations of Zombies will actually affect Quick Revive on this big of a scale. In 2016, fans were skeptical about Infinite Warfare Zombies, but with Spaceland being the launch map, they hit it out of the park, pun intended, and it was phenomenal. And they gave all of the perks a fresh redesign. Instead of sodas, we got candy. You could also have 5 of them at a time. And Quick Revive, Up in Atoms was pretty much Quick Revive on the surface. It costs the same amount in solo and co-op as it does in the other games, goes away after 3 purchases in solo, revives your teammates in co-op quicker, and revives you in solo. Wait, where the hell am I? Welcome to the Afterlife Arcade, where you'll have so much fun, you'll never want to leave. Instead of going into Last Stand with Up and Atoms, you get sent to the Afterlife Arcade, where normally in co-op, when you bleed out, you'll have to play games to fill up the soul meter on the bottom, and then you could respawn, instead of spectating or just wait for the round to end like usual. Instead, you can just leave the Afterlife Arcade with Up and Atoms on solo. Just like in Black Ops 3, Infinite Warfare has consumables, this time in the form of Fate and Fortune cards, and there are a few that can affect reviving, like Medkit, where it basically acts like Up and Atoms for 1 revive, and it stacks, meaning you can 4x your revive speed on yourself, or if a teammate is running it. So it's basically the Quick Revive perma perk from Black Ops 2 all over again.
Whoa! Damn, that's really fast.
You also have Phoenix up like in Black Ops 3, and there is a card that literally just instantly revives you when you go down. There is also Ghost and Skulls, which is a side Easter egg on all the maps that will get you a free Perkaholic for completing it, or you can just use a Fortune card to immediately get access to the machine. And the Up and Atoms machine is in the spawn room of every map in IW. Zombies in Spaceland, Raven the Redwoods, Shallon Shuffle, Attack of the Radioactive Thing, and Beast from Beyond. Oh, and you can call David motherfucking Hasselhoff in Spaceland like the Silver Protector from Shadows of Evil, and he will revive you and your buddies if down. And there are a couple of maps that has a feature like this. Pam Grier on Shallon and Elvira on Attack. Oh, and one more small thing is that on Raven the Redwoods, there's actually charms around the map that you can get through side quests that will actually give you tiny little buffs. And one of those is the Golden Shovel, which when you revive a teammate, it will actually create a small explosion to kill the zombies nearby. There is one thing in Infinite Warfare Zombies that we haven't talked about that is arguably the best, most OP, and it also affects Up and Atoms the most feature in any COD Zombies game ever. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Director's Cut. For completing the Super Easter Egg, you get access to Director's Cut mode. What exactly does that mean? Well, it gives you a ton of benefits. 25k points when you spawn in, a permanent Perkaholic, wonder weapons in the box, all of the guns in the box are Pack-a-Punch, and double Pack-a-Punch is unlocked without having to do any extra steps. But the one key benefit that we are specifically going to look at is the fact that on Director's Cut, you get 5 Up and Atoms purchases on solo. This is amazing, but also weirdly balanced for a Super Easter Egg reward. Oh, and Infinite Warfare Zombies has a feature with perks that no other COD Zombies game has. The fact that you can just get rid of your perk back into the perk machine in case you want to swap it out for another. This could prove useful if you want to change things up and experiment. Of course, I know there's going to be that one guy in the comments that's saying, but you can do it on Moon with the hacker. Sure, but this feature in Infinite Warfare Zombies, you don't have to do anything else. You just go up to the perk machine and interact with it, and boom. That's all you got to do. So all in all, Infinite Warfare Zombies actually had a ton of changes that impacted Quick Revive in a pretty big way. So let's take a trip back to the past and let's see what World War II has to offer. With COD World War II, perks went back to form, besides the fact that they're not sodas or candy, but they are now in fact electroshock therapy, I guess, with you only being able to hold 4 perks unless you have the Hoarder mod in your loadout. Oh yeah, you also have loadouts now in this game. Nothing too crazy, just the fact that you can change your starting weapon with a few different options, choose what grenade you want to use, and you also have mods and special abilities. Special abilities work pretty similarly to specialist weapons back in Black Ops 3, except you spawn in with them and they're not as cool. Why am I bringing any of this up in a history of quick revive video? Well, some of these have mods that actively affect quick revive. Sorry, I mean Lebenblitz, yeah. Lebenblitz works exactly as quick revive. Revives in solo, goes away after 3 uses, and revives faster in co-op, and the Lebenblitz machine is in the spawn room for all of the maps. Final Reich, Darkest Shore, Shadowed Throne, all 3 of the Tortured Path maps, and the Frozen Dawn. The only exception is the Groston House Survival map, which has a version of the Wonder Fizz, meaning you are actually not guaranteed to get Lebenblitz on solo. But there is one thing that makes it not so bad, because World War II Zombies added something to the game that we would see in every future iteration of Zombies that completely changed the game entirely for how you revive, for better or worse. Self-revives. You can spawn in with 2 self-revives per match, whether that be solo or co-op, unless of course you don't have any left in your consumables menu. Yes, consumables make a return while being a very watered down version of Gobblegums and the cards from the past games. Self-revives can be attained through supply drop, and you can stockpile as many as you want, but you can only use 2 of them per match. This makes it so you can technically have 5 revives in solo, while making it so you can't just down 800 times in one game. However, as we will see in the future, one game didn't really think this through. It made it near impossible for your game to end in high rounds. But for now, let's take a look at Black Ops 4. Now, here's where everything changes. Black Ops 4 decided to completely change up everything about the perk system to, quote, remove the neediness of crutch perks, end quote, which in turn made their new perks crutch perk. But that's not what we're here to talk about today. We're here to talk about your boy, good old Quick Revive. No stupid joke about the name change? Nope, it's actually just Quick Revive in this game. And guess what? They neutered my boy! Quick Revive no longer will revive you in solo, but instead, it will just simply boost your health regeneration speed and amount. Now, of course, this sounds amazing, and yeah, admittedly, it is pretty nice. But after going through 6 games of having it revive you on solo, it just hurts, man. But of course, you will still revive your teammates faster in co-op. Now, the way that Black Ops 4 did its perk system, there is no specific perk machine for Quick Revive, or any of the other perks for that matter. You actually get to choose which machine you want it in before you start your match in your loadout. You can choose if you want it close to spawn or literally at the other side of the map. However, if you choose to put it in your tonic/Odin slot, your perk will actually gain a bonus modifier when all 4 perks are purchased. And in Quick Revive's case, you will gain a speed boost when you start regening health. When you revive someone, both your health bars will be full when you finish the revive, and you both also get a speed boost. But it is definitely outshined by most of the other options. Now, of course, Black Ops 4 had other features and mechanics that affect how you revive in zombies, most notably elixirs and specialist weapons. Elixirs are literally just Gobblegums reskinned, and specialist weapons you can just start the game with and level up throughout the match. There are plenty of elixirs that can revive you and your teammates, such as Nowhere But There, Aftertaste, Near-Death Experience, Phoenix Up, and Join the Party. There is also the Talkin' About Regeneration elixir that boosts your health regeneration even faster while sprinting. Obviously, this paired with Quick Revive makes it near impossible to die as long as you're moving. And there are specialist weapons that can revive your teammates and let them keep their perks. This would be the Ragnaroks and the Scepter of Ra. The Ragnaroks rip straight out of DE from Black Ops 3. When leveled up and placed down, will revive your teammates and let them keep their perks. And the Scepter of Ra will revive your teammates with the beam, but when leveled up, it can be placed down and revive anyone in the bubble with their perks. Oh, and the ballistic knife makes a return and can in fact still revive your teammates when pack-a-punched. And on Alpha Omega, you have Adam, who is basically the Silver Protector from Shadows of Evil. And one more thing before we move on is that Black Ops 4 also adopted the self-revive mechanic from World War II Zombies, where you start the match with 2 self-revives no matter what. There is not a consumable menu tied to this, besides the glowing phylactery talisman. I don't know if I'm saying that right, which is the other type of consumable in this game besides elixirs. With this one equipped, you will spawn in with an extra self-revive, and there are organic ways in-game to get extra self-revives, and also to get extra perks. So Black Ops 4 really changed up how Quick Revive functions the most in all of its history, and for better or worse, this is how it would function for the rest of the time. Well, sort of. Because in Black Ops Cold War, well, they decided, hey, let's make every perk as broken as humanly possible.
Let's get the power on. What was that?
Sometimes I feel I've got to
With the release of Black Ops Cold War, Treyarch realized how convoluted and stupid the Black Ops 4 perk system was, and went back to form with some minor tweaks to it. Perk machines make a return with a nice fresh coat of paint on them, and the bottles are now cans. And there is no longer a perk limit. No matter what perk you buy first, it will always be 2,500 points, meaning Quick Revive can be 2,500 points or 7,000 points depending on when you buy it. The Wonder Fizz also makes a return, but instead of it being a sort of mystery box for perks, it's now literally just a vending machine where you can just click on whichever perk you want from a menu. And of course, self-revives make a return, but aren't tied to anything outside of a match. They are simply just an item you use, and you can purchase them from a crafting bench with salvage, or get lucky and have them dropped from various things such as zombies or ether crystals. Here's the thing though, there is no limit on how many self-revives you can use in a game, meaning if you have the salvage, your game will not end. Obviously, this is broken as fuck, but we haven't even gotten to the craziest part about all of this. Upgrade tiers. Perks, build upgrades, ammo mods, and even weapon classes themselves can be upgraded with ether crystals 5 times to get insanely OP. And Quick Revive is no different. You get increased movement speed while down, make your health regen faster, get full health when you revive a teammate, get a speed boost for you and your teammate when you revive them, and get the ability to revive yourself by simply killing a zombie while downed, but you lose Quick Revive by doing so. These upgrades make Quick Revive such a versatile perk choice and amazing in solo and co-op. And this is without a doubt the most broken and overpowered version of Quick Revive in any game. Of course, there are some ways to revive your teammates easier than Quick Revive. For example, Healing Aura is a new field upgrade that is for a more support type of playstyle. Popping it will heal you and your teammates, but at the tier 3 upgrade, it will actually revive your teammates, and the tier 4 upgrade will let them keep their perks as well. And if this isn't something that you have to stand next to them for, you can revive them from across the map. Now, the Quick Revive machine looks gorgeous in Cold War. With a new 80s aesthetic, Quick Revive is not placed in the spawn room for any of the maps in Cold War except Firebase Z. In D Machine, Mauer de Toten, and the Forsaken, you have to open a door or two to actually access the Quick Revive machine. And in Outbreak, you can only get it through the Wonder Fizz machine. Of course, there are side Easter eggs and also other side objectives in Outbreak to get free perk drops, however. Oh, and of course, the Ballistic Knife, when pack-a-punched, will in fact revive your teammates. Oh, and one more thing I want to bring up is that Black Ops Cold War, you can actually use stim shots to make yourself instantly regen all of your health within 2 seconds. This can obviously get you out of a tight pinch, especially since you can still shoot while doing so. And obviously, this stacked with Quick Revive makes it really quickly to regen your health. Overall, Black Ops Cold War definitely had the most broken and overpowered Quick Revive and revive system in all of Call of Duty Zombies. But unfortunately, we gotta talk about the worst iteration next, and I'm not just talking about Quick Revive. Look, I don't want to talk about Vanguard Zombies as much as you guys want to hear about it, but here we are. Vanguard Zombies changed a lot about the mode, but perks? Oh boy. Perks in this game technically had tiers like Cold War, but they were watered way down from what they were in that game. You see, everything in this game from perks to field upgrades could be upgradable, but only in that match. Perks and field upgrades had 4 tiers each, making them a little bit stronger, and for example, Quick Revive. Oh, my mistake. I mean Venomous Vigor. Low-key kind of a cool name, and instead of sodas, it's demon's blood that you drink out of a goblet. Not gonna lie, this game actually had a pretty cool design. Other than that, it was dog shit. And the first tier of each perk was actually free, so you could get all 5 perks for free. Venomous Vigor does exactly what you think it would do. It boosts your health regeneration, and with each tier, it gets a little bit faster. However, it in fact does not revive your teammates quicker in co-op. That honor is given to the Resurrectionist Covenant. Here we go. Covenants are given to you by this skeleton altar thing called the Altar of Covenants. Really creative name they had going there. And you can purchase these covenants with hearts that you get by completing objectives or passing rounds in Shinonuma or the Archon. And there are 3 tiers of these covenants: rare, epic, and legendary. Of course, legendary being the best one, making it so you can revive your teammates uber fast, and thus will revive your nearby teammates who are also downed. Honestly, this just makes it way too convoluted to make a build similar to the older perks, but whatever. The Venomous Vigor fountain is not in the spawn room, as is none of the fountains. Stims also make a return, as does self-revives, but of course, build upgrades also make a return, and one of them is Healing Aura from Cold War, which when upgraded with hearts to at least tier 3 will revive your teammates, and tier 4 will make them keep their perks. Vanguard as a whole made a lot of systems that we know and love just too separated and just way too convoluted and just unnecessary. And if you thought these things were gonna go back to normal with the next game we're gonna talk about, I got some fucking bad news for you, bud.
One of our patrols reported hostile contact. Then went dark.
Now, with Modern Warfare 3 Zombies, the game is definitely not like any other Zombies game. Imagine if Outbreak from Cold War and DMZ from Modern Warfare 2 had a very forbidden love child, and that's Modern Warfare 3 Zombies. Now, I will say this, I will play this any day of the year over Vanguard Zombies. That's just the truth. Anyways, we're back with Quick Revive, the soda. The models and effects of the perks are ripped straight from Cold War, as well as the perk machines. The only exception is the upgrade tiers. All of the perks are pretty much just tier 1. However, there is one thing that makes perks a little strong in this game: schematics. Schematics basically make it so you can bring in wonder weapons, ammo mods, and even perks into the match and use them right away. And Quick Revive is no different. After completing the Act 1 Tier 5 mission Chaperone, you will be rewarded with the Quick Revive schematic, and after an hour and a half you can craft one, and either stockpile them in your cache or take one with you into a match. But of course, you could get one from a reward rift, a random chest in the map, the actual perk machine anywhere around the map, or just the Wonder Fizz in the Tier 3 zone. And fun fact, there could actually be multiple Quick Revive machines on the map at once. It's just completely random. There is also Healing Aura, which makes a return. While it can't be upgraded, it will still revive your teammates if down, but this time you do have to be kind of near each other. And there are still stims that you can even spawn in with, and that will of course boost your health regeneration. And self-revives are also still a thing. So honestly, Modern Warfare 3 Zombies wasn't all that bad, it was just missing that extra bit of progression, and obviously round-based maps. But luckily, the next and final game definitely delivered that. With Black Ops 6, Treyarch went back to form. Take a shot every time I say that in this video. We got round-based maps and upgradable perks back, but they're not as broken as Cold War's upgrade tiers. Instead, we got augments. Augments are a system for perks, field upgrades, and ammo mods where you can choose a major and a minor augment out of 3 of each category, and they can provide a wide range of buffs. For Quick Revive specifically, you can get buffs for reviving your team, such as you both getting a speed boost, letting them keep their perks on their bleed out bar, and you getting full health when you pull off a successful revive. There are also buffs that can just benefit you and a solo player, like having a longer bleed out time, killing a zombie while down to get back up, or literally having Dying Wish from Black Ops 4, the most get out of jail free perk of all time. Of course, you only get 3 activations a game, but it is still so good that you can't not run it, even in co-op. And even Healing Aura returns, and it also has augments, like stunning elite and special enemies, or making it so you and your teammates deal more damage for a short time, and all the other bonuses from Cold War, alongside being able to revive your teammates, of course. However, there is another field upgrade that can actually revive your teammates: Dark Flare. While on its own, it's pretty dog shit, but with the Dark Pact augment, you can revive your teammates, and it does stack with Quick Revive. Oh, and Quick Revive only regens your health quicker. I probably should have mentioned that. Black Ops 6 uses the self-revive mechanic from Cold War, but they made sure that you can only craft 3 in solo and co-op, thus making it so you can't just craft 347 of them in a game and survive indefinitely. And stem shots are also still a thing, making it so you can regen your health even quicker with them equipped. The Wonder Fizz also makes a return, and it's the exact same as Cold War's. And the Quick Revive perk machine is not in the spawn room on any map except the last map, Reckoning. Liberty Falls, Terminus, Citadel de Moore, the Tomb, and Shattered Veil all require you to open up a door or two at least to get to the machine, while it being literally at the very other end of the map on Citadel. Gobblegums also make a return from Black Ops 3, and a few of them make it so you can revive your teammates and yourself, such as Phoenix Up, Near Death Experience, and Nowhere But There. And there's also Gobblegums that can give you free perks like On the House, Raindrops, etc. And there's also plenty of side Easter eggs to help you get random perks. But of course, Quick Revive will still probably be your best friend in reviving your teammates the fastest. Well, maybe Healing Aura, but that's besides the point. So, what's the takeaway from all this? Well, Quick Revive is one of the most iconic original 4 perks from World at War, and it molded from a co-op only buff to a very useful perk to have in solo, pretty solid perk to have in solo or co-op, but not necessarily something you need to buy as your first perk, to it basically being something mandatory because of the way Modern Zombies is built. So having faster health regen is actually a pretty necessary thing to have, while in Black Ops 4 it was just kind of a nice bonus, but as I've stated, in Modern Zombies it's kind of a necessity. Will Quick Revive ever go back to being just a self-revive tool in solo and a support type perk in co-op? Truthfully, I do not see that happening. Treyarch seems pretty comfortable with the formula they have crafted, and I feel like they're probably just going to keep going forward with that, and I doubt them changing it up anytime soon. But that, ladies and gentlemen, was the entire history of Quick Revive in Call of Duty Zombies, from World at War all the way up to Black Ops 6. If you guys enjoyed this, please leave a like on the video, as this was a pretty big project. And hey, while you're here, you might as well subscribe, because if you made it to the end, then you clearly enjoyed the video. And one last thing before I go, let me know down in the comment section your favorite iteration of Quick Revive, whether that be the OG version of World at War, its very good tweak in Black Ops 1, or hey, maybe you just really liked World War II's version for some reason. And also, let me know what the next perk you would like to see the history of in COD Zombies. And that's all I really have to say, so I'll catch you on the flip side.